3, 2, 1. You're on the air. It is Stefan, artist on record, your ultimate intimate conversation with your favorite artist. And who's in the hot seat tonight? I'm glad you guys asked. Tonight, we have live Joe Dog, Paul Black, their new album, Sonic Boom, Everybody Rains on My Parade. It's out. It's on vinyl. It's on CDs. You could download it on Spotify. If you want to know more, go down below. Links are in our description for the videos. Check it out on Spotify to download. Buy it. Don't stop at the alligator arms. Come on. You know I love you, but don't be cheap. Let's get this rocking, everybody. Good to see everybody here in the chat. Everybody, we're going to start the show in about a couple of seconds. Paul's running late. Joe Dog's running late. But I promise you to be here in about 2 minutes and 2 seconds. But in the meantime, hit that bell to be reminded when we come on, because you never know what's going to happen. And also subscribe. And also check it out tomorrow. Mr. Bob Daisley is going to be live. That's right, Artist on Record. Bob Daisley, the legendary bass player. But right now, it is time for an intro. Check it out. But that's Paul Black, Joe Dog, Sonic Boom, Everybody Rains on My Parade. That's the new song. Deb Jackson, thank you for the super chat, for yelling Ellen. Thank you very much. Mwah, very sweet of you. Everybody, I'm glad you're all here in the audience. But, you know, right now, somebody who makes me smile, even when you're sad, ladies and gentlemen, give him a round of applause. Let's give him some, get your claps in the air. It's Paul Black, everybody. Welcome, Paul.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
They're going crazy for you.
I know. They're going nuts.
Paul, it's out. The record is out. It's finally out. Joe Dog and Paul Black, Sonic Boom. Everybody Rains on My Parade. Is that the name of the album?
That's the name of it. That's the title track, and it's the name of the album. It's
Wow.
the theme. It's the theme song of our lives.
So you have it on vinyl. It's on all digital. It's streaming, right? You have the sites. I got the links down below, right? It's on Black City Records.
Yep.
Where'd you get that name from?
I had a song called Black City Breakdown when I was in LA Guns, and
oh really?
And when I had to start my publishing company, I started. I called it Black City Publishing, and then when I started putting records out, I just called it Black City Records.
Oh, look, Debbie Mola says hi to Paul. Deb Jackson says,
Deb.
hey, Paul. They're all here. Look at this. Everybody loves you. Look at that. Everybody loves you. Glad you're here. You know what? Everybody's in the chat. They're having a good time. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your support. And make sure, everybody, do me one favor. I need a favor. I need you down below the links. Check out Paul. He has more videos. You'll check out his links, his sites, and all that. And then we'll bring Joe Dog. Will be coming here in a couple of seconds. We'll talk to him.
And follow us on Spotify, too.
It's on Spotify.
We just came out on Spotify, so that's pretty much the only place you can find it in America is Spotify. So just come follow us, and we'll keep in touch, and eventually we'll have it physically over here too.
This is one of my favorite songs. So Black City. It was an LA Guns song. What was the whole story with this song?
There's not much of a story. It's just
what did it turn into a different song? Did they steal from you, or what's going on?
No, I believe it's on the. I believe it might be on the Blacklist record that I put out, but it was a song I wrote, kind of co-wrote with Robert Stoddard to help me a little bit with it. It was just one of those.
Robert, for everybody to know, Robert Stoddard, he was in LA Guns with you, but he was also the original. He was in Dogs D'Amour.
He was the original singer for Dogs D'Amour, and I think Joe joined just shortly after Robert left. And then when Robert came over to America he was in England with Dogs D'Amour. And then when he came over, and I was a big fan of the Robert Stoddard band, which was in LA. When I first moved to LA, I went and saw the Robert Stoddard band at the Troubadour, and I really liked him a lot. And then he moved to England and he started Dogs D'Amour. And then right about the time he came back to Los Angeles, Tracy Guns had left LA Guns, so we recruited Robert Stoddard to be our new lead guitar player, and he was great because he was a lead singer as well. So we had like vocal harmonies, and more of a Keith Richards style guitar, and he was a little bit more of a punk version of the Rolling Stones when Robert was in it. It was great, and.
That's funny. It's funny how your connection with the Dogs D'Amour, it came full circle back with Joe coming back in the band. And Joe's coming into the studio, but a little piece from your bio. If you don't know who Paul Black is, let's read what they wrote about you. Paul's a veteran of the Hollywood rock scene. A founding member and original singer, songwriter for LA Guns. His song Sex Action, Never Enough and No Mercy launched the first two LA Guns albums to gold record sales status. Huh? See what you
Yep.
did? You got magic in your pocket there. In addition, Paul began his career with the legendary underground LA punk band, the Mau Mau's, which they were legend. But I didn't know this, Paul, whose first album was produced by the Doors' Robbie Krieger. I didn't know that.
Yep.
So what was that like, to work with Robbie Krieger?
1983, and actually the record didn't even come out till years later, but it was recorded in 1983. It was great. I was like, wow, here I am, I'm just like, I was like 22 years old or something, and I'm like, playing drums in a studio, and Robbie Krieger's behind the board and everything. I don't, it was kind of just weird how it ended up. It was Mad Dog Studios, and I was a drummer at that time. I wasn't singing yet. I mean, I sang from behind the drums, but I wasn't out front yet. But I had a Gretsch drum kit that a girlfriend stole from me and took off with, and so I had an older kit that my spare kit that was retired, but it was like all rickety and everything, and so I was a little embarrassed. The heads were all old and everything, and I showed up at the studio, and I didn't have the pegs for it, so I was like, had it propped up with bricks and everything, and I was sitting on a milk crate with a telephone book to boost me up a little bit. And at that time, telephone books were like that thick, so we used them as elevators sometimes. But it was a real kind of funky. It was a professional studio with a big time Robbie Krieger producing us, but I just felt a little embarrassed at the way I had to show up and do the show. But so we did one session one day, and then our guitar player didn't show up the next day, so. We didn't have a lead guitar player to do any overdubs, and Robbie Krieger said, you want me to play it? And I said, yeah, sure.
No way.
So he sat in and did a solo on a song we did called Psychotic. And he said, I'm going to go out to my car and get my, my amp. And I go, really? You carry your rig around with you? And I was picturing him coming in with this big, huge, like Marshall amp or something, and he went out to his car and he came back with his little tiny pig nose, and I go, you're gonna do your, a solo through that thing, that little thing. And he goes, yeah, this is the Doors sound. That's you watch, it's gonna sound huge. And they mic'd it up, cranked up that pig nose, it had the tone, and sure enough, it sounded just like the Doors guitarist playing with a punk band.
That's so funny. So he just ad-libbed, huh? He just went and went right through it, huh?
Yeah, he's a great guitar player.
He's Robbie Krieger. How cool is that?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Now, back in the day, you were a wild guy. So did you retain it all? Like, hey, did you enjoy the moment? Like, this is Robbie Krieger, or you took it for granted back then,
I didn't take it for granted. It was a big deal to me, but I was kind of just didn't react a lot to things because I was kind of all over the place with things. But I do remember that I didn't want anybody to ever hear those recordings because I thought during the mix, they made me sound like a horrible drummer because it was what they did is because I was self-conscious about my drum heads being old and having to play a rickety old kit. So I didn't think it, I was like thinking, hey, is there anything you can do to make my drums, beef them up? And they said, oh yeah, don't worry. We have these drum triggers, and drum triggers were new at the time. Right. And cheesy too. And the thing about it is those, the new technology on drum triggers, they would misfire if you didn't give it a good enough signal. So when they did this mix, they had these drum triggers hooked up to signal, but they would only fire off when I gave it a really good strong kick, So it was just these random hits that was making me sound like all over the place with the drums, and I just thought it sounded horrible. So I never wanted anybody to hear it. And then years later, Robbie actually gave me the tapes back, handed them over and said, and I had a studio at the time. So I transferred them to tape. I transferred them from tape to Pro Tools, and without the drum triggers, listening back without even mixing it, I thought, well, this stuff sounds great. It was just straight raw tape. The Mau Mau's is a punk band and it had a guitar solo on there. And I thought, we got to put this stuff out. And that's when me and the bass player and actually the whole original band kind of got together, and we recorded a few more songs to make a full album, and we finally got it out. It was just like maybe 10 years ago, I think. 10.
Wow.
I'm losing track of time. It could be 20 years ago. I don't know.
Well,
But it
so
seems like
was it the studio that I went to with you and Joe Dog? Is that around the time when you got the tapes back? You remember you had a cool rehearsal spot, I remember.
yeah, it was in Atwater
That
Village.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember that. Okay, Joe's in the studio right now. He's coming up here. So everybody who's coming up here, what one of he's like the Mick Taylor to me, and disagree with me, Paul, right now. 'Cause I could break up your band, but isn't he like the Mick Taylor? I would say, Joe. He's like doesn't say much, but his guitar playing is so great. He's like that type of player. He's incredible.
To me, he's the type of guitar player that talks with his guitar. He like expresses a lot of emotion.
He does.
You know, there's not another guitar player like him. But he's like, yeah, he's probably got a little middle mix of Mick Taylor, Ronnie Wood,
Ronnie Wood, and he's also a little Van Gogh. You see right over here, right there,
yeah,
right there.
Yep.
That's a Joe Dog.
That's Joe's art. Right
that's
there.
his art right there. I have a lot more. You know what? I got some more Joe Dog stuff out there, but let's give him a proper intro. I mean, from Dogs to More, right? He's the legit dress British, and as you and I would say, you know, think Yiddish, but he's the real, he's the real McCoy. Speaking of McCoy, he played in Andy McCoy's band, and for you Kiss fans out there, that band was called Shooting Gallery, who toured with Kiss. So now the Kiss junkies out there gonna get all crazy, right? You know, he worked with you know, some people that we know. He did the recordings on Pawn Shop Guitars. That's his guitar playing, which is great, amazing.
Yeah.
And Mark Denzeisen made that whole thing. And he was in Dogs to More, one of my favorite bands. You know, I saw Dogs to More play with Mother Love Bone, but enough talking to you, Paul. Let's give him a round of applause. He's in the studio, he's in the house, he's Joe Dog, and he's here. Don't get bad.
Hey, Stefan.
There you are, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
They're going crazy. They're going crazy. How you doing, buddy?
All right.
How's that intro? Is that good? Like Ed Sullivan.
Yeah, you're a pro. Bloody hell.
You know, Joe, good to see you. Joe, look at the artwork over there. And look, let's make your picture big. You got some of your prints. There's your Chuck Berry right back behind you, I see. That's a great one.
I got
the Chuck Berry one.
And
then you got on vinyl. Can you show you the vinyl Sonic Boom for kids that are watching right now?
Yeah,
Can you
we
pull
just
that
got
up?
that today. So Paul hasn't even seen it yet.
No, I don't have a copy.
So we got the this is the vinyl. This came out.
Oh wow, that looks great.
The free sticker.
A Post-it.
Oh, that's cool. Let's see the back of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's got
Oh, the artwork look that's your artwork, right, Joe?
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I did all the art for the album. It came out really good. I'm quite chuffed about it, actually.
Can you show the can you show the vinyl for the kids on any art on the label itself?
This is a red one.
Oh, it's the red one.
Cherry red, and that's the artwork.
Could hold it up a little bit. I love it. So you got it's like old school too.
Yeah.
Man. So Joe, how can everybody get that right now? If they want to buy that album, what do they need to do? I have links down below, but where can they purchase that? On Amazon?
Well, now you can get it through Amazon over here in America.
Okay.
You know, this was released through the UK, but it's finally available now in America on vinyl and CD. So
Wow, it looks cool.
Just Google it. You should be able to get it now.
You know what? I got the links down below, and let's give the kids a little sample of the music again, right here. Check it out. Bam! What a great song, man. I mean, I know I get copyright. I just listen to it. And I always love you guys' music together, and even your acoustic sets that you both do. It's incredible. So, Joe, I mean, you guys got to be excited now that it's on vinyl. All the hard work. Now you got it out there, and Spotify. Everybody got to go on Spotify, right? How's it work now, Paul? This Spotify thing. Download.
I don't know. We're new to it. When we first put out our first record, Joe and I, was about 20 years ago. And Joe was dead set against Spotify, and I kind of agreed with him. Spotify wasn't paying anything. We were kind of against, but you know, it's inevitable. Music and things change, you know. And now today's it's the days of streaming, you know. So if you really want to, I mean, really. You know, it's hard to sell CDs and records anymore anyway. So really you just kind of got to, if you want your music to have a life, you kind of got to be adapt with the times and, make it, get it to people.
It's true. Deb Jackson wants to know, can we get it? Are you guys doing signed copies also?
Yeah, I believe there are signed copies. Joe, what?
Yeah, we've got a little insert thing that we did that we signed during COVID days.
Oh, okay.
We signed a whole bunch of them. But
okay. So
yeah,
we'll
otherwise
get that.
we'll walk over to their place and sign it by hand.
I think that's a great deal. I think it's a great deal. So let's talk. We were getting to everybody before you came here, Joe. We were talking about a little bit Paul's past. Now let's go dig into your past a little bit, okay? Because the whole LA Guns, the Dogs and More, how the full circle came. So you didn't play with Robert in Dogs the More? Was he before you, Joe?
Well, Robert was the original singer of the Dogs the More.
Okay, yes. And you weren't in the band with him?
I wasn't in the band then. I had my own band called Hearts of Gas. We were kind of Stonesy kind of thing. Around that time, he was kind of black, just after Black and Blue. This when the Stones did that one.
Oh, wow.
So that's what, 76 or something.
Wow.
So I started my own band, and then I just started messing around, playing around the same clubs as the Dogs, and eventually Robert left, and the guitar player left, and so another incarnation kind of started with Cusworth. Dave Cusworth. Tyler took over the lead vocals.
So was Tyler in the band playing another instrument, or he just joined afterwards after Robert?
Tyler was there already. Yeah.
Oh, he was there already. Okay. So was he playing just guitar, Tyler, in the band at that point?
Tyler pretty much was just Keith Richards kind of
wow
character.
Yeah. Another great artist he is too, Tyler. A lot of great art he's done too.
Yeah, he's a great songwriter. Yeah, great lyricist.
He really is. He really is. I remember seeing Joe. I remember seeing you guys play with Mother Love Bone.
Where was that?
That was in New York.
All right.
A place called Downtown. This guy Nicky Camp was doing it. And do you remember being on the road with those guys?
Yes.
Mother Love Bone. I was a Dogs the More fan, and I remember going. It was funny because they were the Seattle band, which anybody watching Mother Love Bone is now Pearl Jam. It was with it's so wild, you know. I remember going to this club and seeing you guys play. Great. It was great times. And then I saw you also play with Shooting Gallery, Andy McCoy's band after Hanoi Rocks.
Right. Yeah.
You know, which Eric Singer has some stories about. He goes, I remember those guys being back because Eric Singer was on tour with that. That was Kiss without.
Yeah, I love Eric. Eric's great.
It was a lot of fun. How was that tour doing that with Andy McCoy, working with him?
Andy's crazy. He's a crazy motherfucker.
He is, huh?
What can I tell you? I mean, the guy is, he's kind of a textbook rock star. He
really is.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun being on tour with him. Not necessarily when we were at home, because he didn't want to really, he's a little bit intense, but on the road, he was, we had a lot of fun, I actually shared the room with him. Nobody else wanted to share the room with him.
You did? You shared a room with Andy, huh? What was that like?
It was crazy. He's a crazy guy, he's kind of almost like a cartoon of himself,
He would be all decked out all 24/7, huh? Dressed up to go.
Even he'd go in the shower like that.
Wild. I remember when Mike Monroe, after Hanoi Rocks, he was living down the street where Hell's Angels house was in the Lower East Side. And I remember one morning, 11 a.m., here comes Mike Monroe walking in to this, like a liquor store, convenience store on the Lower East Side, all decked out. Red velvet jacket, the hair was up. 11 a.m. with the jewelry on. It was the same thing. Now I wear Velcro shoes. I'm so Larry David. I can't do it now, Can't do it. What great stories, man. Huh? Playing with those cats. And how you guys did one record with Shooting Gallery? Was it just one?
I actually didn't play on the record. I just did it for the tour.
Oh, wow. You didn't?
Yeah, they already had the album down. And at that time, I just finished working with Gilby. And then, Gilby got the gig with the Guns N' Roses. we had me and Gilby had a little band going.
I remember that with Mark Denzeisen,
Yeah.
and that's when I first met you.
Okay. Yeah.
Around that's when Waddy Wattel produced that record, I believe, the Pawn Shop Guitars. But
yeah, Waddy was great guitar player, great character.
It was the Blackouts you did. That was the band, correct? That you had with Gilby that you were doing?
No, it was after the Blackouts.
Okay.
Well, kind of like after the Blackouts. I don't think we were called the Blackouts. Maybe we were. I can't remember. But I quite got on really well with Gilby, and it was kind of an escape. I was trying to separate myself a little bit with the Dogs, just to stretch out a little bit more, because it was quite intense at that time with the Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And Tyler was a little bit crazy, so I was just trying to find my ground, and through that time I met Paul and I met Gilby, and just started messing around with different stuff.
Yeah. So Paul, how did you meet Joe? How did you guys hook up with each other?
I think it was like right around 1990 or something, 1990 or 91 or something. I'd had like a bunch of bands. Obviously, I had LA Guns and Black Cherry and the Mau Mau's and Joneses and stuff, and all of those bands I had something that I really liked, but none of them had like everything I wanted in a band, and I was always looking for a guitar player that was like the this type of guitar player, the sound that I wanted, which was like, I loved the Rolling Stones and all that old classic and Faces and stuff like that. So, when it was in the Mau Mau's and the Joneses, it was really cool, but it was very punk, very sloppy, but I liked it, and then, with the LA Guns, obviously it was a battle between me trying to like be punk Rolling Stones versus half the band wanted to become the cliche high five heavy metal, which was getting popular. And I just thought it was really dangerous to be going that route. And it's not anything I wanted. And then when I had Black Cherry together, it was kind of like I was really trying to go for that sound still. And it was kind of a Black Crowes kind of thing, but I was, because of LA Guns, I was attracting those kind of musicians that wanted that, have that connection with metal, but I was trying to convert them. I was taking the wrong people and trying to convert them. Although they were really good musicians, I just was never quite getting that sound. And then when I met up with Joe, there was this one guy that I was playing with a little bit before Joe that was very bluesy and everything, but he was everything. He played Queen, he's like, kind of a virtuoso guitar player. And then somebody told me that I should meet up with Joe, and somehow I got Joe's number and called him, and we just kind of, what happened is there's a guy that heard some of my songs, wanted to put some money into doing some recordings, and I asked Joe if he would do it, and Joe brought in another guitar player, and then I got Kyle from Bang Tango, and then I got Howard Tiemann to play piano and stuff, and I just put this little combo together that to go record some songs. And so it was bringing Joe into a project. That project is how I kind of immediately hooked up with him. But then after that, I continued to meet up with him and write songs, and it was like we just hit it off as songwriters, because our lives were kind of like doing the same thing at the same time. Our bands were breaking up. We're breaking up with our relationships. We were kind of down on our luck, and so music was our outlet. We'd get together and we'd just write these songs, kind of about, everything we were feeling. And then eventually, we'd put a band together that would fall apart, but we'd get a few songs out of it, recorded, and then put another lineup together and play for a little while, and that would fall apart. So it was just kind of a little thing that happened over years. We just accumulate all these songs, and Sonic Boom is really just me and him, and then whoever else we decide to bring in.
Well, you guys have a great thing, because it is a mixture of everything. The Faces, you got the Stones, you got your Dylan style. It's all just the classic rock and roll stuff. And you got another great song, Tree for Shade, great tune. one of my favorites. And you guys remember, links are down below. So if you are looking to check out their music, you go on Spotify. You could go on the links. You could purchase it, and also they have this signature. You get their signatures if you want the nice vinyl. Joe, are you still selling your art pack there? Like I have mine.
Kind of, I've really done it very much because since the COVID thing and the prices with postage, it was costing me a fortune just to mail it to Europe, because a
Yeah.
lot of the stuff went to Europe, So I kind of I've still got a thing on Etsy, but I haven't really concentrated too much on it. But I still have a lot of the paintings and do a little bit more,
Yeah, Etsy, it gets a little, the shipping and all that, a little walking around money. Thank you, Steve.
Things have
And
completely changed.
I know, and gas prices are crazy right now, and I have people over here that are going to purchase it and they want to go buy it. So yeah, definitely check it out. So check it. So what's the deal now with you guys? You guys, any shows lined up? I know with this whole, any acoustic stuff coming up with you guys?
That's up to Joe.
Jo- Joe?
Well, we basically just wanted to get this thing out to find out what the reaction is. Really,
Yeah.
that's what we're trying to do. Because we can't make a living out of music.
It's
I'm sick. I'm going to be 60 this year, and I've got a family to feed and everything, and I can't afford to. Every time I get in a band and tour, I come home, and then it's like finding a job again.
I know.
have
I
to
know. It's definitely tough. But
I can't do that anymore. I mean, I've done it 1,000 times, and it just a drain on my family. So
yeah.
the priority is just to get for us to keep playing music and playing, we've been rock stars already. We've done all that stuff. We don't need to do it again. We just need to find out if there's any interest. If there's any interest, then we'll move from there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we get a big hit.
That comes natural to us, not forced, keeping it like that, not as soon as you become a center of attention, you start following rules, you start breaking things. So we like to experiment a lot with music, not
Well,
take our image seriously or anything, so I don't know if that makes sense to you.
it makes sense, but you know what? The one thing you have that nobody could take from you, your songwriting. Both you guys together, you write great together, you work great together, and you have a great band. So Muddy Stardust, who's a great guy, who was in the band Burning Tree with Mark Ford of the Black Crowes, it was his band, and Muddy went to play with Chris Robinson of the Black Crowes. Is he on the record too? He's playing with you guys?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
it's a very big part of the record. They probably about 5 or 6 songs on it, and he's a complete genius. He's probably one of the most talented people that we know in the
Yeah,
music business.
he really is.
And I mean, he's an icon here in LA.
Yeah.
And I mean, one of my favorite bands. We took him over, took Burning Tree over to England to support the Dogs way back then. I mean, guy, his voice is amazing. He's a multi-talented musician. He plays everything with passion,
He is great. He's T-Rex, Steve married, he's rolled up in one. What a great bass player. And when I first met Muddy, I was like, wow, that's the cat from Burning Tree, which if you guys don't know, Burning Tree was a 3-piece band, and they really just rocked. Mark Ford on guitar. I mean, God, what a great band. And the drummer was his name. What was it? Donnie? Donnie. Yeah, great band. They really did. They just smoked. There was a time in Hollywood where the Coconut Teaser was happening, and you had bands like that came out. But then the Black Crowes ended up taking Mark from his band.
Yeah,
took him after the guitar player. But
Coconut Teaser, we've seen a lot of great gigs at Coconut. I know it sounds kind of weird talking about the Coconut Teaser, but I think I was talking to Paul about this the other day. We've seen, I saw Bo Diddley there. One of the best gigs I've ever seen. Also, I've seen Mink DeVille play an acoustic gig downstairs there, which was
really
another one of my favorite gigs ever. At the Coconut Teaser.
Wait, Mink, because Len Fagan was good friends with Willie DeVille.
Yeah. We had a chat with him afterwards. It was Len, me, my old producer Rick Browdy, and I mean, it was just unbelievable. I mean, the guy, intimate, right in front of you, playing like a little dobro, Unbelievable. You know
Wow.
that place downstairs at the
Totally. They had the downstairs where it was only acoustic because upstairs you do the electric setup. It was the place where the Comatones we used to play all the time, which Muddy produced the Comatones CD, and then he ended up taking my place in it. And then Muddy and I were switching off playing bass with Gilby for a long time. And you know, when you mentioned Mink DeVille, one of my favorite acts in the world. And thank you for the Vinny Poncia interview. You're very welcome. And that ties in with Vinny because Mink DeVille, he was all part of that Doc Palmas. He had that whole music, that whole like, you know, that Spanish Harlem beat. He had it all, that old school. He was the best, man. One of my favorites. Man, what was the conversation with him like?
well, he was on something. But I mean, you know, whatever he came out, he's a storyteller too. You know, I
Yeah,
mean, you know, his depth of music was just astonishing. You know, so I
Astonishing.
don't care, you know, whatever drug haze you come from, but once you've got that kind of, you know, you just
Yeah.
know what he just knows what he's talking about.
I mean, the Coconut Teaser was a great place. A lot of great bands came from there. I think Stone Temple Pilots came from that as well, from that club. They were one of those people that came out of there. Paul, you played
Yes.
out there. I remember with your band. It was
many times. Yeah.
Black Cherry.
Yep.
Black Cherry, and you had you always had great players in your band, but you know, all the time.
Yeah, it was a good band.
It was a really good band.
And that was like almost we lived practically lived there. We'd go there for that's how we ate. We'd go there for free tacos or
the tacos were the best tacos over there. And then we go to Toy on Sunset afterwards, where Joe, your wife, and was working at Toy, I believe. Is that where you guys met?
That's right. Yeah, she did work at Toy.
She worked at Toy.
I kind of, you know, the Dogs, we got pretty close with the management there when they started Toy on Sunset. And it was a happening place because they had a little bar after hours thing. And so we kind of helped start that whole Toy thing, you know. We befriended the manager, Michael. And then slowly they start building and, you know, it became quite successful. But at the beginning, it was just, I mean, we'd have live music.
Yeah.
You know, it was open till all kinds, you know, 4 a.m. or whatever, you know. It's just a great place to go and hang out.
It really was a great place. I mean, and you had Sunset, and we're talking about the time when the strip was already over, and then now grunge was coming in the way. But then there was guys like us that was like, it's funny because all you guys from like you were hanging out. Then you had some of the guys from the Choir Boys now coming out because there was another, and then Brian Forsythe, he had a band, the Rhythm Slaves. I remember there's all these bands, the guys from, you know, now they're coming to LA making their new bands. So it was a great scene, man. It was a great scene. But now it's all streaming. Paul, you're yawning. We're leaving you out of the conversation. We don't want to get you. So Paul, tell everybody right now how they can buy your music. Come on, sell it.
How do they buy it? Everybody's been asking me for it, and it's like, where's my copy? Where's my copy? I don't even have a copy.
It's out now. I mean, go whatever you want to. I mean, Amazon's fine, whatever. You know, we don't. You know, we take anything. We just
you can find it. You can find it on Spotify, Amazon. I think there's a Bandcamp link.
Is there?
Is that posted down below? Is a Bandcamp link? I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna have to do the printing over here, Joe.
Okay, well, right now you got the special red vinyl. It's out now on sale. The pre-order links, which we had from your publicist, he told me, but I put links over there, and I put where you could buy it. It's the links will be down there. You got your bandcamp.com. Yes, it's Joe Dog and Paul Black. Yeah, I'll put it right here for you guys. Put it in the link. You'll go in the description. It's too long to say. .bandcamp, and then you're on my shopify.com. So there you are. We have you. Everybody go buy it, and it's out there and enjoy it and all that good stuff. You know, before we get out of here, we're gonna let you guys all go soon in a second. But let's do one thing. Can I do one thing? Let me play this for you 1 second. I don't know if you guys heard this great song, but you know what? I think the kids need to hear it one more time. Awesome. Bravo. Bravo, bravo, bravo. Good job. Good job, you guys.
I got a story about that song. So Joe and I recorded that like about 2 hours north of Toronto, a really nice studio that Johnny B this guy Johnny B built, and we took Muddy with us, and we had a little band, it was great. Dennis Morehouse was playing drums, and for some reason, I guess Muddy and the drummer had a fallout like right before we left, so we didn't have our drummer. But I play drums.
Wait,
so,
Muddy and Dennis had a fallout?
Yeah, just I
two of the nicest guys in the world.
Exactly.
So they kind of live together too. I mean, in the same, so you see.
Oh, they were living together because Dennis played with Gilby for a little while. I played with the like most quietest guys in the world. Okay.
That little ranch that Muddy had.
That's right. Remember that.
Yeah.
So we flew up without him, and I'm like, and I never even figured out what happened. I go, where's our drummer? And Muddy's going, oh, well, he quit the band, and like just like that. And I'm like, well, we're gonna go do some recording. He doesn't want to come with us. And anyway, so Muddy found us this other guy to play drums that we'd never heard before. His name was Scott Williams, right?
It's so Muddy.
None of us had ever met him. He just said, "Oh, I got a referral. He's supposed to be really good." So we flew him in to help us with the drums, and he wasn't a bad drummer, but he's kind of an all-around musician. He played everything, right? This guy Scott Williams, right? But I'm really picky about drummers, and I wasn't getting the feel that I wanted for him for this song or for any of the songs. So I ended up sitting in. I played the drums for that song for Everybody Reigns. But I felt bad because this guy's a really nice guy. And I said, well, Joe and I go, well, is there anything else you can do maybe? And he happened to have, and we're kind of going for a New Orleans feel on this song. He happened to have this little tiny trumpet in his case of instruments that he brought along. And we go, well, let's put that on there because we wanted that New Orleans kind of horn thing. And that's one of my favorite parts of the song. He's like, if you listen, there's like two little trumpet parts. One is like a kind of a drunken guy, like stumbling, playing out of tune, like stumbling down the street in New Orleans, playing a trumpet. And then he played the melody over the top of that with another track. And it just came out really good. It really fit the song really well.
It sounds
so at least
really
we got
good
that out of him.
Because on the original one, you didn't have the trumpet, I don't think, right?
Did you?
I don't think.
I think we only recorded that version.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
This version is just a remix of the original. this is the only version.
It is the only version.
Yeah. It's just the better sound because it's remixed and
because it sounds great.
Mastered,
I mean it's funny. So he became the drunken trumpet player on your.
We like that. We always like that New Orleans thing because it's kind of like the Keith and Ronnie thing. When you play one thing and you play another, kind of New Orleans music is kind of like that. Everybody's soloing at the same time, and it becomes you can focus on the whole thing or you can focus on one thing. It's just an amazing experience, to that New Orleans sound, so
it definitely is one of my
that song does remind me a lot of the Kinks, because the Kinks have always had the swing, and for some reason it's something that the Kinks would probably do on one of their albums. Maybe they've never done it, but I can hear the Kinks do it.
Yeah, it's a great one. It's a great version. Now I'm going to ask you what everybody wants to know, and I'm going to have Joe go first. Joe, I need to know your top 5 must-have vinyl records. Must-have.
Well, bloody hell, I'd have to go for Louis Armstrong.
Mm-hmm.
He did an album like tribute to W.C. Handy. That was a big influence on me because of that New Orleans thing and soloing, and I just love it. Taj Mahal, probably his second album. I think that was a big change in my life. Imagine by John Lennon, because I was born in Angola, Portuguese parents, and I didn't even speak English. But when I heard that album, I could tell that there was a lot of passion in it, and I couldn't understand I didn't speak English, but I could tell what the songs were about, even without speaking it. So songs like Mother and
Evie.
And, he was doing that whole screaming thing too. But anyway.
Yeah, it's a great, and we just lost Alan White.
Oh,
he passed away.
Alan.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, the drummer on that, and Klaus Vorman, a lot of great playing. George Harrison's on it. It's a great record. It's Hard is on it, which is a great bluesy jam on that. Okay, so we got 3. Okay, so let's,
I'll probably put Mott the Hoople there too. They were a big part of my, because they had a very strong fan base, and one-on-one. We've always tried to do that with the Dogs. We were always very one-on-one with the fan base, and not wanting to be like another band, to keep the community strong. The songs were great, and Ian Hunt is just a forgotten hero that
yeah.
no one knows, And I'd have to say, the Small Faces, the Faces, all that thing. So I have to put that, probably the Faces really. But I mean, I love the Small Faces as well. Anyway,
That's it, huh? Yeah,
I put one that I can think of.
it's a great. How about you, Paul? Top 5, Paul Black.
Well, while you're asking about this, Joe and I actually did put a Spotify playlist together. That's, I think, Joe, is it posted on our website, on our Facebook page?
Yeah, on Facebook and I think Instagram and as well.
Yeah. So somebody asked us for our top favorite songs that influenced this particular album, and Joe and I gave the guy his name Jack Haberberger. His dad actually did our video, but he put a playlist together for us just based on what the songs that we picked that helped influence this record. So Joe picked 10 and I picked 10, and then it mixes our songs in the middle of it. So if you want to go listen to that playlist, just go to our Sonic Boom Facebook page and join us, because that way we can keep you posted and updated on everything. But it's a pretty cool little playlist on Spotify. There's 30 songs altogether. But for me, growing up, there's, Aftermath was probably a big thing I listened to over and over again. Rolling
Great
Stones,
record.
Aftermath.
Great record, Aftermath.
And then for the Beatles, there's any number of them. But I think probably Sgt. Pepper I listened to quite a bit. I listened to all of them. And then, there's other things that were really because I liked a lot of different genres of music and stuff. And, when things came out later that I really liked, I can think of things like Buena Vista Social Club. All that Cuban music was really cool. I think that helped us with some of the stuff we've done too. I like the soundtrack for Brother Wear Out there, all that kind of old school stuff. And Leadbelly, I don't know that he had any particular albums that I listened to. I just like listening to Leadbelly, because I think the albums that came out were just compilations of recordings that were done by him that people put together. But I really liked Leadbelly, and a lot of that old acoustic blues is kind of what influenced us, me and Joe. Matter of fact, I think, Joe, didn't we? Some of the first songs we used to jam on were like Leadbelly songs, right?
Yeah, when we first started getting together, we basically we used to go busk in Glendale or somewhere.
Yeah, we had this. We went out once. We thought we were really poor. We were desperate. We said, well, let's just go out. I saw in Pasadena, I was on Colorado Boulevard. I saw people with tons of money in their cases, and I thought, Joe, why don't we just go play music? go out on the street. We did it one night, and I think we ended up making 50 cents. Like 2 quarters. We had to split that. He got 25 cents, and I got 25 cents. We never did it again. And I didn't realize at the time it was really cold and rainy. And that's why we didn't make it there. So there's nobody out there, when we went. So you got to do it on a nice day. And, and plus we thought it was just because people didn't like us, or, because we played guitars and everybody else was playing weird instruments like dobros or hammer, I don't know, whatever. But we never. I think that's the one and only time we ever tried.
We did it. Ryan, Roxy, and I. We played the train stations in Manhattan.
Yeah.
So we would do. It was. We made money. People throw money at us. We were doing Have You Ever Seen the Rain? Stepping Stone. We were doing. It was Emperor's New Clothes, and we would just and yelling at people at the subway station, and it was funny.
Years later,
the train would come and interrupt the set, and we had to stop.
But years later, I always wanted to play the subways of New York. But years later, like after I graduated from college in 2016. And after I graduated, I go, well, I got to get a job. And I started playing covers and stuff. But how I developed my set was I'd go out on the street and practice, And then I realized that's when I realized, man, you can make a buck or two out here.
Yeah.
I was making sometimes between 50 and $100 an hour right
Yeah.
there on the street. So it's like I had a built-in job. Anytime I wanted money, I had spots I could go play anytime where there was traffic. I'd set up and play and make money,
Make
and it
more-
helped me. It helped
Yeah.
develop me as a performer, I think, And what was good about learning a lot of cover songs, and then people would hire me to play weddings and this and that and stuff, and it kind of grew.
Yeah.
And I was a full-time musician until COVID hit and the gigs all went away. And then and now I do real estate.
I was gonna say, and you're doing really well in real estate now, huh?
Yeah. Now the gigs are coming back to me, and I have to turn them down because I'm selling too many houses. So
There's another one that's doing real estate now. It's
Cher.
Cher, Bam's wife, does real estate too from Vixen. She's full on real estate. Are you friends with them, Joe?
Oh.
Would
Yeah. Well, Bam's still one of my best friends. So that whole family there in Florida.
Yeah, she's full on real estate. She's not doing Vixen no more. She's just full on now doing real estate.
Yeah, because Vixen was taking up a lot of time. When you do that kind of business, you got to work at the weekends, and a lot of the gigs, as you know, at the weekends,
Totally. I remember their band Bubble they had, Cher and Bam. They had the band
they've
Bubble.
got, one of the best albums too that they've made. It's I was wearing the T-shirt there. Yeah.
Well, you have a Bubble. I got to get Cher on my show. I wonder if she'll come on. I got to get her on. She's a great bass player, And now that she does real estate, I think Paul, since we're all involved in real estate, me, and Cher should have a rock and roll real estate conversation. I think that'd be a fun conversation. You got to hook up Cher, and we'll do a 3. What's that? You're going to be a part. Joe, we'll get you. You got 3 rock and rolls that'll sell you a house. Go with the Jew. Go with the Jew.
Oh, by the way, speaking of Jude, I like your new nickname for us. The British and Yiddish.
The
twins.
British and Yiddish duel.
Twins. The British Yiddish twins.
That's right. There's the toxic twins, the British Yiddish twins. No, this is great. I love having you guys here. Not only you guys got a great band, but you guys are good friends of mine, and it's really nice to see you guys. And we're going to have you a couple of weeks ago, but life takes you in different routes. But I'm glad you guys made the time to come on tonight to the show. I appreciate it too. I love you guys. You guys, great music. And everybody out there, stop with the alligator arms. Click on the links down below. Buy the music. You got merchandise? Any shirts you guys selling?
Yeah, we got it all on the if you go to Facebook page, then we got like a little store thing going on in there, and we got some of my artwork on the T-shirts, and
the artwork is great.
Yeah. Hey, I think Stefan, I think we have something that no other current band has right now, which is a songbook for this record. We have all the songs, all the lyrics, chords, and everything. Joe put it all together with artwork and everything.
Can you hold it up, Joe? Can you hold it up for the kids?
Do we have it yet? Is it available yet?
No, it's still not printed.
Oh,
yeah, but it's got a lot of stuff like this kind of stuff.
Oh, that's cool. Really cool. You got good stuff. See, Joe gets the stuff first. Why? Why is it?
Well, and we only just got. Everybody else has got the album, and we just got it. So
look at this. People go and buy Joe's art. You know what? You totally Stella. His art is amazing. Look, right there. It's great. Look, Steve. Look, Joe's art. It really is amazing. I'm a big fan.
I mean, is that Etsy page open or?
I don't have it open, but when I went crazy, I didn't know what to get. Now I wish there's more. I wish I got. I mean, Joe's artwork is great. The Chuck Berry, the one behind him, I love that one too. I didn't know what to get. There's so much, but this one is great behind me.
Yeah, I love
that
Lead Belly.
The Lead Belly one. When I had John Sebastian from the Love and Spoonful on the show, he was like, "Oh, is that Lead Belly behind you?" And that painting made him stay on for 3 hours on the conversation because of you, Joe, right here. That's a true story.
It's got good taste.
I wish I had gotten the Lead Belly one because that's kind of where Joe and I started was with Lead Belly.
Yeah.
That's
actually,
right.
we were just talking about when we were doing busking. but I've always been the stubborn one out of both of them, because Paul is just a sweetheart, and he gets on with everybody. He's just the most amazing human. But I'm stubborn, right? So I'm old school, and so when we went busking that first time, I refused to do popular songs. If someone asked me for an Eagles song, I tell them to go and f off, f off. We would just do like completely like Blind Melon, Jefferson, songs that nobody's ever heard of. Let's why we never got paid for doing those.
You got some fans over here. Look at from Kansas over here. You have a bunch of you guys got people over here. They're saying hi to you guys. So there you go. You got your crowd over there. So my people out there, Karen Ritter, so much fun. Thanks for being here, Karen, over here. And if you guys have any questions, I'll pop it up really quick before we get out of here. But I love having you guys on here. Joe, what about the artwork? Are you working on anything now or you're just being more laid back
Well,
with it?
art-wise, not really.
No.
I'm trying to work on a guitar track for my friend Javier Escobedo. He wants me to play something, so I've been trying to experiment with different
Wait,
things.
Javier, was he in the why's the name sound familiar to me?
Was he in the Zeros? Or?
Yeah, he was in the original Zeros, right? He's
Really
related.
one of the first California punk, it was punk bands back in the day,
Oh, yeah, he's like related to Sheila E. I remember.
Yeah, it's a big family. They're all like, exceptional. The family blood, music blood goes way back, from the jazz days. And his brother Alejandro is one of the best songwriters.
Yeah.
And, but this whole family, Prince and everybody,
Wow, they're a great bunch. So yeah, what's he working on now, Javier? What was he just
Javier's always been doing, his own albums, So I think I think I did his album cover, the last one or the one before, and then I played on one track already. I don't know if it's out or not. And then he asked me to do another one, so I've been trying to do it now.
That's awesome. Now let me ask you guys, because you guys been around the block and you guys are great players yourself. Is there that one player that you guys played with that you're like, that was a bucket list? I'm glad I got to jam with this guy. Is there any musician that you guys got to play with that you always wanted to?
Well, we mentioned Muddy already. I mean, we're very fussy about people, because you wouldn't be Gilby or anybody like that, because those kind of people come quite often.
That's right.
Not very talented, really, if you think about it. But people that have the soul and passion and originality, they are hard to find,
Mm-hmm.
So I think in LA, somebody like that, I mean,
Muddy is great. He's one of the best. How about you, Paul?
Yeah, well, I've had a few opportunities, which I would find myself in these situations and stuff. Like Robbie Krieger not only produces, but he'd come up and jam with us once in a while.
That's pretty cool.
And I just come right on stage and we play songs with him. And so it was great to be playing with a Doors guitar player. But I think probably one of my biggest memories of when I was young, I was dating a girl that was the identical twin sister of Steven Tyler's wife. So I went back. So he would fly us out periodically to like, England and stuff. And Steven, when I visit him, I stayed at his house for a couple of weeks, right? And he'd bring me up to his studio that he was building and stuff, and we'd play piano together and jam a little bit. So that was kind of cool. But the biggest thing I remember was because Steven was originally a drummer and I was a drummer. And we went over to the wives of, I guess, Joe Perry's wife and Steven's wife and me and my girlfriend Lisa went over to Joey Kramer's house and, to pick up him and his wife. And we were all going to go out to the movies together. But when we were over there, Joey said, well, let me show you my studio. And he brought us up to this really cool studio. And at the time, he had a better house than Steven and Joe because he was the only one that stayed married and held on to all his money. So they all lived right around Marshfield. But so we went up to Joey Kramer's studio and he had 3 drum sets. And I sat at one, Steven sat at the other. and Joey Kramer sat at another, and we had a three-way drum jam going. You know, me, Joey Kramer, and Steven Tyler all playing drums. And so, yeah, that was the opportunity of a lifetime that I always thought, you know, I'd always remember and stuff. But it lasted maybe 5-10 minutes. Stuff we were jamming, and the wives were sitting there with their arms crossed, tapping their fingers, going, "We're gonna be late to the movies." And I'm like thinking, "Fuck the movies, you know. I want to stay right here." And they're like, and Steven goes, "What?" Steven goes, "You know, we got to make the wives happy. Don't worry, Paul. We'll come back and we'll jam again." You know, and never did.
Never did. What movie was it? What movie ruined the night?
I wish I remembered what movie it was that ruined the night. I could care less about the movie. I just wanted to jam with Steven and Joey Kramer. But you know, anyway, funny. I got to do it for 5 minutes. You know,
that's fun. That's a great story, man. You know, that's great. Who was a better drummer, Tyler or Kramer?
I think I was better than both of them.
Really? There you go. We got an exclusive right now. That's right. Blabbermouth Paul Black is better than both of them.
I mean, I like Joey Kramer. I mean, they're good. You know, they're both good.
Well, Steven was originally a drummer, like you.
Yeah. But you know, it's like I say this periodically, and it's true. But I'm, you know, people. I don't want to sound like, you know, stuck up or anything. But I'm one of my favorite drummers. You know, I like the way. I don't know. I don't think that I'm the greatest drummer in the world or anything. I just know what I want as a drummer.
You're a great rock and roll drummer because
I play with Joe Dog.
Glam Nation. You play drums with Glam Nation.
Oh, that's right.
You did a show with us, a whole set with no rehearsal.
I was awesome.
You were awesome. It was great because I think Eric Singer wasn't around, and you replaced Eric Singer. That's right.
That's true. Yeah.
That's right.
All right. I did a lot of
Eric
stuff
to say about that question though.
About Paul. What would Eric say? Eric Singer formed Glam Nation, but you know what? Paul did a really great job, man. I gotta tell you, he's a great drummer with no rehearsal. We did No More Mr. Nice Guy. We did All the Young Dudes. We did everything. Ballroom Blitz.
And it was packed.
It was packed. It was a packed house. We would do all the glam songs. Steve MP goes, "What's the story of the first Trees for Shade video? Is there a storyline on that line?"
The first one. Joe's daughter starred in that one.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did it in the backyard, and you know, Anjanette shot the video, and it was just we added more to the track afterwards, and we mixed it properly and mastered it. But we wanted to, in all the videos that we did recently, it's also part of the trilogy that Mark did for us, and it's just an amazing person that we met, who's really talented and passionate, and we're very lucky to be working with people like that. So he put these 3 videos together, and we only spent we did 3 shoots, and basically all done very quickly, and he managed to piece them all together and turn them into what they are. You know?
Yeah. And you know what I noticed? Who else is in the band? Tony Babylon, who played with Sylvain, huh? And he played with Izzy for a little while. Another great bass player. He was in a great band called Wink, Tony.
That's right. He's been around for a bit. Yeah, he's played with a lot of people. Yeah, I think he did some stuff with the guy from Guns. Izzy.
With Izzy Stradlin. That's right. He did play with Izzy, but he was one of those guys in L.A. that had the Tom Peterson, the 12-string, the Hamer basses. I remember he was like one of the guys that had them all. Tony, but he's a great bass player. But I remember his band Wink, who was in that band, was Michael Lockwood, who ended up marrying Lisa Marie Presley, and there was a guy Roxy. They were like a real Cheap Trick type band. Great band they were. I remember them very well, and he was the bass player.
I think Roxy passed away pretty soon.
Did Roxy pass away?
I think I heard that.
He was a star. He was a star, man. A lot of talented guys, man, in that scene. There was a lot of good acts that the world doesn't know about. But you know what? We're gonna make sure people know about Sonic Boom. Two great guys, Joe and Paul. And before we get out of here, you have anything to say to your fans out here? Buy the music. Go to the links.
Buy the music. You know, we could really, really use followers on Spotify, because
Okay.
we really want people to join us, because especially, I guess, if we get up to like 2,500 followers, it opens up doors for us as far as like expanding the music, marketing wise and stuff, and reaching a bigger audience. So yeah, I mean, we're just now getting started. What I want to say about this record is probably the best thing I've ever done, and I'm really happy to have done it with, you know, one of my best friends, Joe, and just we've really worked hard on this and put our heart and soul into this record. We didn't just put any old songs on it just to get a record out. We really put a lot of thought into this to make a story from start to finish, you know, with the introduction and everything, and just, you know, here, we want to take you on this journey. And I'm really more proud of this record than anything else I've ever done musically. So I just want to share it with everybody. I just want to, we're not looking to be big rock stars or anything, but I want this record to have a life. I think it's one of the best records to come out in a long time. And I mean, if I do say so for myself, you know, but we really could use, we want to build our following. Now we finally got it out. It's just, the first record never came out on Spotify. This one's finally out, and we just want to get you all to come in and join us, so we can keep on giving you more and more. And we're going to keep the ball rolling, and we got more recordings. We got more to follow up with after this record. That's we can't wait to get out. You know,
well,
so
everybody out there, you got to go subscribe, share the link out with your friends, with your cousins, your relatives, even people that can't stand you. Make them listen to the music. The music is going to make them love them. Don't rain on everybody's parade. Listen to Paul and Joe over here. But also, hey, let me ask you, Joe, were you doing something with Steve James and Bam the Other Dogs guys? Were you working on an album, or is that old?
It's kind of an ongoing thing. We did do like a 10-inch album, and we recorded some more songs, but we never, you know, had a chance to kind of carry on, because we prefer to be in a room together to do it, and this was done kind of separately, so we kind of put a hold on it until we can do that. But yeah, that's called Joe Dog and the Desperados, and you know, just something that we, the three of us, we were all really good friends. You know, I only work with my friends now. I can't be
better that way
because I, you know, want to make money or something. I have to be very passionate about it, as always.
I agree with you 100%. Hey, we got the jam. It was really good. So maybe us three I'll book a gig, and then I'll slip in there and play bass with you guys. We'll have a good time, you know?
Okay.
We'll have a good time. We'll do it somewhere. But everybody, I want to thank everybody for being here in the chat. Everybody, Debbie, Steve, all you guys out here, thank you very much for just rocking and rolling with us, okay? And the new people out here, if it's your first time here, subscribe, hit the bell to be reminded, make sure. But like Paul and Joe, I need your help. And you know what? Your little thumbs up and subscribing is a big thing. And tomorrow night, everybody, while we're still here, legendary Bob Daisley. He's going to be in the studio live. We're going to talk to him. If you don't know who Bob is, I don't know what to tell you then. Bob played on everything, like Ozzy, legendary Gary Moore. You know who Bob Daisley is, right, you guys? It's pretty good, isn't he?
You played on the Sonic Boom record, right?
He's pretty good, I would say. He wrote a lot of good songs. Crazy Train, you know, he's legendary, but he'll be in the studio. But until then, everybody, I'm Stefan Adika. There's Joe Dog. There's Paul Black. Together, let's take a selfie for everybody. Everybody smile. How cute! How cute!
Paul's gonna sell it.
Paul's in the middle, you know. He's in the middle. Everybody,
wait, I gotta get the nose in.
We're gonna go to tonight. We have Joe Dog, Paul Black, Sonic Boom. Everybody rains on my parade. Links are down below in the description. And we're all here. We're glad you're here. We love you. And until then, everybody, we're gonna get out of here. But you guys hold on 1 second. And remember, who loves you, baby? We do. Until then, I'll see you tomorrow night, Saturday night. And be good. Be good to each other. Call somebody. Tell them you love them. Paul, I love you.
I love you too, Stefan.
Hey, Joe, I love you.
I love you too, man.
All right.
I love you, and I love you, Joe.
And you know what, everybody? Everybody watching, we love you. Until then, we'll see you later, kids. Now get out of here. Bam. Good night, John.